So hello and welcome back to Test Drive Thursday. Today we're taking a look at the Kenworth T800 by GTM. So let's get started by taking a look at all of the customization. Right then, so here we are inside the truck configurator. So starting off with the cabins, there's three to choose from. The day cab, which is very tiny and very short wheelbase on this. You've got the studio sleeper, which obviously extends the chassis to accommodate for this massive sleeper section. One thing that I like about this is the amount of windows that it's got on the sleeper sort of part. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 windows. I mean, if we get on the inside, I mean, you can't, look at that, it's got curtains over it, that's pretty cool. But yeah, it must be pretty airy back there. And you've also got the aero cab. It doesn't actually give any more interior space, it's just for sort of taking box trailers, stuff like that. But I do think that doesn't look too bad. I mean, I like the way this almost stripe is carried along through the truck. I think that's pretty cool. You don't get that on the studio sleeper. So I might have a go at the aero cab. Seems pretty nice. Onto the chassis. Obviously, the short ones are obviously for the day cab, where it's got long. This is where you can choose it with the aero or studio cabs. So we have got some rear steer here. Basically, this rear axle sort of turns in opposite directions to the front wheels to give you a better turning circle. And it's probably a better turning circle than the day cab, sort of short wheelbase, if not very close to it. So yeah, I really do recommend the rear steer. Can make reversing a tiny bit more difficult if you've got a shorter trailer. It can be a bit snappy then, but for most hauls it's pretty good. Some of these tanks have got 360 gallons of fuel that you can fit in there. That is pretty impressive. You can have like this extra long one here, 8x4. But yeah, 360 gallons. That's probably going to get you pretty much anywhere in the standard map at the moment. I'm interested to do like a challenge, trying to get, when Oregon is released, trying to do the longest delivery on a single sort of fuel, on a single fill up. I think that'd be pretty cool to do it with one of these GTM mods with 360 gallons. I believe the T610 that I tried last week had 400 gallon option, so that's going to get pretty interesting. But yeah, great amount of chassis options. You can also see here, when you opt for the rear steer, it sort of changes some devices down here. One thing to note, when you go for the rear steer, it isn't powered anymore. This is the only drive wheel. You can probably see that there. But yeah, that's one thing to note. On the engine front, you've got basically, they've got like a ranking system. You've got the efficiency series and the performance series. Now, if we sort of take a comparable engine, I think these two, you can see with the efficiency series, you got 450 horsepower, 1750 pounds-foot of torque. That doesn't make sense. It's got more torque than the performance series, but the performance series, you get 35 more horsepower, and the power is available for higher up in the rev. Well, you got a longer power band basically. The engines go up to 625 Caterpillar. They're pretty nice sounding engines. Saying that, the Cummins are pretty good as well. But yeah, nice range of engines there. Transmissions, you got pretty much everything you'd want really. 7 speeds, 6 speeds, 10, 13, 18 speed, 13. Yeah, I might go for an 18 speed today. Manual box and everything, as this is a bit more of a classic truck. On the interior, this is what I like about this mod. There's quite a bit of configuration that you can do on the inside. Now, as standard, you have something called slate grey. To me, it looks a bit more brown, cream sort of colours. Not really to my taste. You can then go for sort of this red. I've just noticed there, that texture. Is that meant to be like that? Same on all of them. Again, the red I don't really like. I mean, that brown cream blanket. I don't like how this is still all sort of grey. I don't think it works that well with the red. And this is all sort of cream still, which I don't really like. So don't really like them too. Then the black, that's probably the best one for me. I just think it works really nicely. It's not over the top. The blue I don't really like either. Those pillows look a bit plastic to me. But then you can also go for the diamond sort of quilting, which does look pretty nice in black if you ask me. Also do like that. Looks very smart. But yeah, quite a nice amount of configuration there. You then got all the colours. As usual with GTM mods, you get a nice range of configuration available here. It's a nice colour. So yeah, it's pretty cool. That's nice how that's painted. These sort of arches. It's really cool actually. Heavy hauler. That's pretty good. So yeah, great range of paints to choose from. Now onto the main configuration. Down here you can add an oversized load, or you can change the sort of bumpers with lights, without lights, painted. Does that actually bring across the metallic? You know what, I don't think that brings a... Maybe it does, only on the edge. I don't think it brings the metallic across very well, at least. Maybe it does, but I just can't see the metallic flake on it very well. Just a bit unusual. But yeah, that's pretty nice. With the lights in there, which I'm sure will light up on the outside. That's a nice bumper, that. I like how it wraps around the cabin. Makes it look really sort of aggressive. Then you got this one here, which I don't really like. So yeah, great range of options there. You can add some sort of metal grills around the edge. They don't look too bad. Some LED strips if you want. These are sort of the warning flags on the side. Heavy duty fender extenders. Don't really like them, to be honest. I think they sort of take away from the design. Metal deflector. There's no option for the sort of changing the grille, which I sort of would have hoped. Some different styles like some other mods do. The GTM mods usually don't, which is sort of an area where I think it can be improved slightly. Right, what we got down here, so obviously wheels and tyres. You can add a nice sort of chrome strip, which actually finishes it off pretty nicely with all the lights down there. You got the air intake. I think I'll show you that. Yeah, there we go. So you can have sort of a really discreet one. If you wasn't looking hard enough, you probably wouldn't notice it. But yeah, a really nice and discreet air intake. If it's painted, you can go for chrome if you want to make it stand out a bit more, or you can have the ones on the side. But I think it's pretty cool, this discreet one over here. I haven't really seen a truck do that before, which is pretty interesting. Up here you can change the mirrors. Modern, if probably best showing you this on the inside. Modern, obviously, probably a lot more easier to see out of. But it depends if you want that classic design, which this truck sort of has. The interior, you've got the sun visor, nice painted one there with the chrome strip, and the lights, all the light adapters, horns, and then up here you can add some beacons. They look pretty cool on the metal frames. What's that? Oh, the exhaust. I think this looks so much better with the Kenworth lettering down the side. That finishes it off very nice. You got a logging rack if you want to do some, well, logging obviously. Headache rack. I'm not sure what that's for. If any of you know, please do tell me. Right, down at the back you can change the mud flaps. I think that's all standard SES stuff though. I can't see a dot to change the wheel arches, which is a bit unusual. I was trying to go around. You know what these dots are like for hiding. But yeah, I can't see any more dots. You've got that mirror there if you want it. On the inside, you can two different wheel options to match sort of this. yeah, when you go for the diamond stitch, you also get the wood paneling on the dash, which is something else to consider. Didn't notice that. Right, what else have we got? They're all on the outside. I wish it took away the outside options on the inside. You got sort of dash, set, pennants. I think that's pretty much it though. There's not really any more options. That's at the back. So yeah, now I'm going to do a time lapse of me building this truck to my spec. Okay then, so here we are, all fully configured. Now I've gone with this sort of really deep brown, sort of really dark orange paint. I don't think I've ever gone for something like this colour with all the white, grey decals on the side. I think it looks really good. The painted bumpers, the contrast between the chrome grille, the chrome sort of pipes, chrome tanks, chrome wheels. I just think it looks really good. Obviously on the inside it's mainly borrowed from the W900, which I drive in my Let's Play series, so I'm really familiar with it. I like having the digital speed on, but I just like the dials in here. It just looks really good. I'll go through the displays, trip economy, we'll have a look at that later. But apparently we've got enough to do 2,200 with a trailer, so I think you could probably do better than that, to be honest. I bet you could get 2,500 out of this if you were driving carefully on a sort of straight road. Obviously if you get to the twisties and change down the gears, that might go down a bit, but I've gone with the 605 Cummins engine with over 2,000 Newton meters of torque, so it's a pretty punchy engine. I'll start it up now. Sounds pretty nice. It's got a really sort of deep burble. I've noticed it only lets you rev that high in neutral, but when you put it in gear you can go up to 2,000. It won't rev higher than 2,000. I believe in my W900 you can take it all the way up to 2,500. So yeah, I've noticed that with the GTM mods, they don't let you rev very high for some reason, which is a bit unusual. Have we got this connected? Yes, we have. Let's get going. I've got the 18-speed gearbox, as I said. What's that say on there? Smart wheels. 18-speed gearbox, manual, 605 engine. That's pretty much my spec that I went for. I went with the aero cab, as you can see, so it works with the box trailers. Sounds really good though, doesn't it? I mean, this gets up to speed. I mean, how heavy is this? 8 tons, so it's not really that heavy, is it? But it's just so smooth, the power delivery. I mean, you can put it in 18th, 2,000 Newton meters of torque. You put your foot down and you can still sort of keep it in 18th and it still gains speed. It's quite impressive. Right, we're not going to get through there, are we? I've noticed it like starting off in 6th, it could do that. Oh, was that another T800? I didn't realise that. They sort of implemented them into the AI. That's really cool. I'm guessing it sort of replaces some of the standard SCS ones. That's cool seeing it in the AI. That's like a fairly standard spec though. I mean, compare it to this, it looks totally different. That's what I like about these GTM mods. They've done a good job of doing a sort of wide range of configuration. You can build the truck to look like a workhorse, or you can do it like the owner's got a bit more money here, more of like a show truck style. I wouldn't say this is a show truck, I'd say this is somewhere in between. Obviously not afraid to get it dirty or anything, but you still want to look after it. That's a kind of truck, I think. Right, do we go down here? I think we do. It's quite tight actually. Right, just put it down into 15th. Listen to that though. It's Cummins engine. Really nice. Haven't sort of yet worked out where it likes to change. I mean, you get to 15 and it still feels like the engine's got a lot more to give. It's around 2000 that it likes to change, I think. It's quite a revvy engine, so you're probably not going to do that well on fuel. I mean, how are we doing? 3.9 isn't great, but it can just settle down like this and just cruise. It's really good with that. It's quite a... It's got like 2 characters. You change it down to 15th and rev it out, and then you just cruise in 18th. It's a bit of a railroad. Right, the road sort of narrows here, so I'm going to try and get past these cars. Are we speeding up? No! Oh, we've got a race now. Come on, Kenny. Oh no, I'm on an external contract, so it won't let me go ahead above 65. But we got him anyway, that's the main thing. That's what I find a bit weird about the external contracts. The speed limit in some states is like 80 on the interstate, but it only lets you go 65, so you're probably going to be late at some point, which is a bit weird. I mean, they shouldn't limit you at the speed limit, surely. What about if you need to pass somebody? Oh, feel like it's gone a bit grey again. I love the sort of low end burble this engine makes as well. Then it goes a bit more high pitched around 1500. They've done quite well with the engine sound. I'm not sure if it's standard SCS or if GTM's made it himself, but it sounds really good. And as I said, it can settle down. It's not sort of droney or anything like that, like some mods can be if they're quite loud. This one can settle down, as I said, and it's quite nice to drive long distance in it. Alright, what's going on here? They're slowing down again. What's going on? I mean, I would try and pass them, but with that 65 limit, I don't think I've got any chance. It's not very straight either, this bit. I can't really see what's coming. And I know what happened. I'll try and overtake and they'll just blast off into the distance. I mean, it's keeping it 18th here. It's holding 45, 46, 47, so it's got plenty of torque. I believe this engine, if I remember, it had the power band was between about 1000 to 1500, so quite a wide power band. We're going to a bit of a town here. Oh my god, they brake a lot, don't they? Not sure why. The speed limit is still 55 and now 35. Ah dear. AI and speed limits, like they just brake so firmly. get past. A bit more industrial this. Show you the outside quick. I forgot to mention about the rear steering. I'll show you that when we're parking if I remember. It's quite extreme, the angle it goes to. I didn't think it would be. Can we beat these guys off the line? Got this car in front. Right, come on, we've got to get past. It's a junction. Absolutely left them for dead. Alright, should we be cheeky? I bet they get loads of people doing this in real life. Cheeky shortcut. Yeah, I'm just changing it 1500. It just feels, I don't know, it doesn't feel right doing that. Feels like it should be revved out a little bit more. Right, let's try and time these lights so I don't have to wait. Still hear that engine. It's not as bassy as some sort of mods I've tried. Oh, this guy's caught up with us. Peterbilt versus Kenny. Look at that. Absolutely gone. Why is it still 35 down here? Guessing that's, yeah, 45 limit up ahead. And then what's that? 70? Can't even do 70. So annoying. But yeah, in general, I think this mod is pretty good. It's up to the standard of the other GTM mods that I've tried. As I've said with the video last week with the T610, I do think it could do with some more customization. What's there is pretty good, but I do wish for a little bit more, like maybe painted tanks, different tank shapes, different front grills, just generally a little bit more customization would make it even better. Other than that, I don't really think there's much else to look at. I mean, the interior is done really nicely. I like all the options that you got. You usually don't get that many options with truck mods. I like how they've implemented the rear steer. That's pretty cool. The range of engines are great. I mean, this one pulls really nicely. And it's just really comfortable to drive. I mean, it's not intrusive or anything. So yeah, definitely recommend this. I'll put a link to it in my mod spreadsheet if you want to take a look at it, which I think you should. Because it feels like an SES mod, it's that quality. Obviously it uses some of their sort of interiors and stuff, but the trucks do in real life, so it doesn't really matter. But yeah, definitely recommend it, taking a look at this, because it is very good. Oh, if this guy stops now, it's going to be so annoying. Oh, he's messed it up, and I'm just going to get back in this lane. Oh no. Depends if this light changes before. I was trying to get in here and maybe sort of do a quick detour. Oh, there's a solid line there anyway, so I can't. Oh well. That was a bit of a fail. But yeah, I'll quickly show the outside. It doesn't look as good when it's cloudy, but when in the sun, I've put like an orange metallic flake in the paint. I think it would have looked really good. But it still looks pretty nice with the sort of overcast. You can just hear it, can't you? Right, come on, let's get going. There we go. Right, how are we doing on fuel? 6.6 miles per gallon. That isn't bad. That's about, I don't know, 7.5 to 8 UK miles per gallon. You can get that on a Scania S, like 400 or 450 or something. That's actually not bad, considering how good this sounds. Oh, almost stalled it. considering how good this sounds and drives. It's probably because you can get up to speed so quickly and just cruise at it. You don't spend that much time accelerating. And with the 18 speed, the revs are quite low. I don't think I have to stop there. I think it's the other two directions I have to stop. I have to stop here though. Can't actually see what's coming. I recommend giving it a go with the manual though. It's a lot more involving, especially with an engine like this. But yeah, here we are. I'll quickly show you the rear steer. Probably see it working there. If I zoom in, look at that. It's quite a wide angle. But it's really good. You can see it working in the mirrors as well. Look at that. So cool. Right, so let's try and park this. Obviously we don't have a day cab. I've been driving day cabs quite a lot recently, so don't have that rear window to help us. And it's quite a short trailer with the rear steer, so it's not too bad. There we go. That wasn't actually that bad. And all off. Looks so good. But there we go. If you've enjoyed that video, please do give me a like, subscribe for more, and hopefully I'll see you again soon. Goodbye.